Now, last thing I want to ask with regard to what role magnesium has to play in is bone health. What role does magnesium have to play with bone health, especially as we're getting older?
Right. When I was doing the update on the Magnesium Miracle book, I came across some studies by uh, Dr. Boland, Bolland, in New Zealand. And he's done over a half dozen studies showing that women who simply take calcium supplements are at a higher risk for heart disease. And the calcium wasn't even helping their bones. There's some studies that say, you take a lot of calcium, your bones become more brittle. And that's what's happening with the osteoporosis drugs is they kill the bone remodeling cells so that they just allow the bone growth cells to absorb all this calcium. So they deposit calcium willy-nilly in the bone. They don't remodel it to make it, a proper lattice work. It's just a brittle conglomeration. So there's that aspect of what's going on in the osteoporosis world. We're telling women to take a ton of calcium for their bones, and they're getting brittle bones, or they're taking drugs that make their bones brittle. And what magnesium does is it provides a lot of the soft tissue scaffolding for the bone that helps make bone more resilient. If
Hmm.
you drop a piece of chalk on a concrete floor, it'll shatter. But in my case, a few months ago, I just slammed down on the concrete floor at my farm store and just killed my elbow, my right elbow, and my left knee. My bones are all displaced here. They did not break. They did not shatter. Magnesium has made me resilient. Bones, brain, magnesium is helping both. Now, let me just about calcium. I only recommend 600 milligrams a day, which a lot of people can get in their diet. If you have dairy, fish with bones, my example is when if I grab a quart of yogurt and eat it over a couple of days, I need more magnesium. I'll get a little jumpy heart or a leg Charlie horse cramp because my calcium has pushed out my magnesium. So
Mm.
I know you can absorb calcium from your food. So that's why I stick with food as much as I can.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you saying from a bone health perspective is that yes, calcium is important, but usually people stop the conversation there when it should be extended into other things like magnesium as well. And so if you overdo it on calcium, then there can be negative side effects as well. So you need magnesium to coincide with that. So calcium in the amount of about 600 milligrams a day or so. What about magnesium? Like to kind of finish off today, how should somebody be thinking about whether or how much I should be eating in a magnesium from a magnesium standpoint in order to make sure that I'm not deficient?
Well, it depends because I mean, in my case, I'll throw that up again. I needed 1,200 milligrams for a year before I truly got rid of all my heart palpitations. So everybody is different. I mean, this is where, we can't give medical advice in my customer service, but we support people and we'll tell them to go for the RDA. Start with a small amount and work up to the RDA, which in adults is about 400 milligrams. And then if you still have what we call magnesium deficiency symptoms, and they're pretty easy to identify. Headaches, eye twitching, throat spasms, heart palpitations, leg cramps. There's so many symptoms, and when you identify them and they start coming back, then I need a little more. What happens with a lot of people when they're told, take this mineral, take magnesium, and they're sleeping better, but then another symptom will come up. They won't think of taking more magnesium. they'll run off to get one of the 100 different supplements that these supplement sites are advertising now to treat the symptoms of magnesium deficiency.
Mm.
In both my books, I have like 65, 68 medical conditions that are really magnesium deficiency, which are treated with drugs that cause more magnesium deficiency. So it's a terrible vicious cycle. So it's a downward spiral.
Yeah. It sounds like all of us need to, it doesn't sound like there's really many dangers or downsides of making sure that you get in plenty of magnesium. So it sounds like a lot of us are probably magnesium deficient and would definitely benefit from having some sort of supplementation or some sort of like sea salt and water and making sure we get plenty of that. But this has been awesome, Carolyn. I've really enjoyed it. I know everybody else is going to want to learn more specifics around how best to supplement, when to supplement, what to supplement with, and everything like that. So you guys need to go make sure you grab her book, Magnesium, the Missing Link to Total Health. We'll make sure we have a link in the show notes. Yeah, she's getting ready to hold it up right there. Boom. Magnesium, the Missing Link to Total Health. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. You also need to make sure you follow Carolyn on Instagram at Dr. Carolyn Dean. And you can also go to her website, drcarolyndean.com. Any other place that people should go to learn more about you?
Well, I have to keep my store site separate because, like I said, we're not allowed to tell people we can help them. So the store site is rnareset.com. And I must say, Mick, I'm really happy to be doing this podcast because it's the way to get the information out there because, there's a lot of blocking going on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, that's rnareset.com. Make sure we got that linked up in the show notes as well. But a lot of great information here on magnesium. I feel like I learned a lot with regards to what the negative impacts are of magnesium deficiency, how to start to increase the total amount of magnesium that we're having so that we can eradicate these symptoms and stuff like that. And I'm excited to go learn more myself all about magnesium because I do really believe that it is one of these missing links that a lot of us have in our health that can really satisfy a lot of the different symptoms and issues that we're having. But that's all we got, Dr. Carolyn. I really appreciate your time, and that's all we got.
Aloha, Nick.